Hi, I'm Marjorie Drucker, chef and owner of New England Soup Factory, and today we're going to demystify hot and sour soup. One of the best soups ever invented is hot and sour soup. Nobody ever really knows quite what's in it, so today I'm going to show you exactly what goes into it, and you will be able to make it and not feel intimidated, and it will taste even better than most restaurants. I'm starting with about 8 to 12 cups of fresh homemade chicken stock. Now we're going to hydrate our mushrooms, our fungus. These are called lily buds. A little goes a long way. You'll only use about maybe a quarter of a cup. That translates to maybe about, 15 strands of lily buds. And then these are called wood ear mushrooms, and they're a dark mushroomy fungus. They hydrate really quickly, and I'll take again just a small little handful. I'm going to crush them by hand, kind of break them up a little bit. So we have our mushrooms that are going to hydrate into the soup, but we're also going to add some fresh. So it's a combination of fresh and dried fungus. These are baby shiitake mushrooms. Use whatever you have. If you can't get your hands on shiitake, then buy cremini, buy something. You can even use white mushrooms. These are shiitake mushrooms. So now the mushrooms will linger in with the chicken stock. We'll now start to develop a little bit of a mushroomy flavor into the soup. At this point, while we're waiting for these to hydrate, I'm going to season the soup a little bit. We're going to start with a little bit of soy sauce. This is about a quarter of a cup of good quality soy sauce. What makes hot and sour soup hot? Some people think it's white pepper, and I don't really love the recipes that call for like white pepper hot and sour soup, so I use a red chili paste. It's got some vinegary qualities, it's hot, it's spicy. This is good in many things, but it's especially good in hot and sour soup. So we'll add the red chili paste, and now we're going to add some vinegar. Now, hot and sour soup is a very personal thing. Everybody likes it a certain way. Some people like it really thick. Some people like it thinner. Some people like it hotter. Some people like it more sour. Take my recipe and make it, use it as a guide, but add your own touches if you like it more sour or if you like it more hot. Make it taste the way you want to love it. This is black Chinese vinegar. If you didn't have it, you could use balsamic vinegar. So I'm going to use a combination of this black vinegar. Remember that the black vinegar is really salty, so you'll have to be careful with it. And then this is some rice wine vinegar. I want a real vinegary taste, and I like the black vinegar, but if I use all black vinegar, it's going to make my soup a little too salty. So, we're now going to add in julienne bamboo shoots, and they're easy to find. They come in a can, you'll drain them, and water chestnuts. Now, I know that water chestnuts are not traditional in Chinese hot and sour soup. One day I just had them, I added them, I like them, I've been doing it ever since that way. So at this point, we've got the mushrooms, the dried mushrooms, bamboo, chestnuts, vinegars, chili sauce, soy sauce, and we're just going to let it cook for about 7 to 10 minutes until the dried fungus rehydrates, and then we'll be ready to finish our soup. It's really a quick and easy soup with fabulous results. It already looks like hot and sour soup, but now we're going to add some of the finishing touches to our soup, starting with our tofu. And the reason why we add this so later on into the dish is because we don't want it to get tough. We want it to still be creamy and tender, and I'm using a somewhat firm tofu into this soup. And tofu is nice because it's really high in protein, and it's vegetarian. You could make hot and sour vegetarian, just use vegetable stock instead of chicken stock. At this point, we're going to add eggs. And this is about 2 to 3 large eggs. I'm just going to be very gentle about the way that I add these eggs in. I'm just trying to create these eggy, lemony curds. It's going to brighten up the soup. It's looking more and more like Chinese hot and sour soup, but we need to thicken it. And you'll notice in restaurants that when your soup comes, it's kind of got some texture and it's a little bit glossy. And that comes from adding a slurry. A slurry is by taking, in this recipe, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch with 4 tablespoons of water. And then we're going to add it in. And it only takes really about a minute for it to react. And all of a sudden the soup will take on its texture. And it will have lift to it and gloss and shine. And I'm still going to add a little bit of black pepper into the soup, even though we have the chili pepper. I just personally love black pepper. So our soup is going to cook for about 30 seconds more. We're going to pull it off. We're going to plate it up because we got to feed the family, and we'll be eating hot and sour soup in no time. So what makes hot and sour soup so delicious tasting is at the end you add a toasted sesame oil. And I'm just going to drizzle some dark toasted sesame oil on top of the soup and stir it. I'm going to add some freshly chopped scallions. They'll never cook, they'll just wilt, and they'll bring up that really gorgeous, bright green color into this sea of madness. We're going to taste it, make sure we've hit all the right spots. When you eat hot and sour soup, it should hit you here and here and here and here, and so we have to see if we're going to get hit there. It's fantastic. You're going to love this recipe. So here we go. Beautiful and delicious hot and sour soup at home.